Dre all day.
Dre Baldwin, balloverseas.com, the overseas basketball blueprint. That's a whole framework in addition to this book, but I'll tell you about this later on. I want to talk about something that I touched on in the last video. I was talking about, before I get to that, make sure you like, comment, share this video. Let me know that we're giving you game and that we are the plug for helping you play ball overseas. Anyway, I want to touch on something that I was talking about in the last video about if you're a role player or when you might need to be a role player. Now, I've talked about this in previous content before, I'm sure, and I'll probably talk about it again when it comes to playing ball overseas, because there's a lot of things that need to be said over and over again from different angles because, number one, people don't listen. Number two, some of y'all will see a video I posted 2 years ago and I told you exactly what you need to know, but you're like, no, I want to see a video. I want you to make it, talk about it today, even though it's the exact same information. Who knows why? This is just the generation that we're in. It's all good. I'll keep making them as long as I feel like it. But it's about being a role player. And what I want you all to understand is that basketball has when you rise in levels in basketball, y'all understand the levels here. And y'all understand that I'm not talking about playing in recreational leagues or some summer pro-am where everybody's trying to get an Instagram highlight or being a YouTuber. I'm talking about the actual levels of basketball, competitive basketball. We're talking play in your high school, play for college, play in the pros. All right, those are the levels I'm talking about. When you're rising in these levels, it's a natural selection process. Because there's this many players play high school ball, this many players play college, and this many players play in the pros. Everybody understands that, right? So everybody who played in high school ain't making it to college. Only the best players from high school get to play college ball, and only the best players from college get to play professional basketball. Meaning, every level that you go up, every basketball team, well, let me go on another side of this before I get to the meaning. You understand that every basketball team has role players. Not everybody can be a superstar on a basketball team. You watch the LA Lakers, for example, win the championship. Remember when the championship game, Dwight Howard, he didn't even play in the last game that they played. What was the dude's name from Philly? Dion Waiters. He wasn't even suited up. He didn't even play in the NBA Finals at all. He was on the deactivated list. I guess he still gets a ring because he was on the roster, but he didn't even play at all. And I'm bringing that up to tell you this. Take Dion Waiters off the Lakers and put him in some rec league in Philly. Put him in the Drew League in LA. What's he going to do? He's going to be out there scoring 40, 50 points, right? Because he could be a star as soon as he gets off. This is the highest team in the world. Take him off that team, put him on a team at a little bit lower level. He's going to be out there dominating. And the point is this. A guy who could score 40, 50 points at this level might become a role player at this level. It's because everybody can't be the superstar. But the only people who make it from here to here are the players who were the best. So somebody who was used to being the best at level here, they got to be a role player when they get up here. And what that means for you is this. In order for you to advance, you got to be one of the best, which means, and often in the basketball world, I mean, let's keep it real. What we usually look at as the best players are what? The people who put up the best stats. Usually points. Points, rebounds, assists, triple doubles, highlights, crossovers, dunks, shooting, making threes, people who do the things that people pay attention to. The casual basketball fan does not understand positional defense. They don't understand taking charges. They don't understand moving without the ball. They don't understand setting screens. The traditional casual basketball fan, not traditional, casual basketball fan understands points. They understand highlights. Now, a lot of people who claim to be ball players, that's all they understand is points and stats and highlights, but they talk about they ball players. Most of them are not. So for you to be one of the best at the level that you're at and advance to the next level, you're probably going to have some kind of stats, right? And then when you move up to the next level, you might not be able to get stats anymore. You might be a role player. Just to even get into games, you got to play a certain role. You might need to be a Jared Dudley. You might need to be how Dwight Howard is now. Now, Dwight Howard was a superstar, all-star starter for several years in the league, but by this point in his career, at least as of this recording, I'm recording this before the 2021 season starts, Dwight Howard became like a bench guy, sometimes deep on the bench guy for his team, because that's just what happened. And in life, in basketball life that is, you are maybe going to have to play a role in order to get on. Now, what does all this mean? Let's say you play in the league, right? You go to the NBA, and you're playing for the Denver Nuggets. And you might be the 11th, 12th guy on the Denver Nuggets, but you got a contract. You get yourself a nice 3-year contract. You got a guaranteed salary. You good. You playing for the Denver Nuggets. Now, when you were in high school, you were averaging 30. You went to college, you were averaging 20. Now you playing for the Denver Nuggets. You might be averaging 4 points a game playing for the Denver Nuggets, but you got yourself a guaranteed deal. Then that summer, while you're still playing for Denver, you go play in some recreational league or some pro-am back in your hometown And now you're going against whoever the hot shit dude is from your hometown. He just trying to get on overseas. He ain't playing nowhere except in these rec leagues. But he's the man around there. And he's scoring 30 points in a game, and you only had like 15. People are like, yo, dude had 30. You only had 15. How are you in the league? He's supposed to be better than you. Now, you understand where I'm going with this? Now, you're going to be looking at it like, well, you would understand this, and you probably would you might try to explain it to the crowd or to the hecklers and people talking shit. They wouldn't quite get it. But you understand that the reason you're in the league is not because you can score 30. You're in the league because you're a role player who sets screens, takes charges, works hard in practice every day. Maybe you guard Jamal Murray every day in practice. He's averaging 25, but you guard him every day, make him work hard in practice so that he stays on point. That's your job. That's what you got a contract for. You don't have a contract because you score 30 in a rec league that don't nobody give a fuck about. But this dude who's scoring 30 in that rec league, number one, he's going to think he's better than you because he had 30 and you only had 15 and you in the league. And number two, he's going to think he deserves, quote unquote, deserves to be playing somewhere professionally because he scored 30 and you in the game and you're in the league. He scored 30 with a dude in the league on the other team. No, that's not the way the game works. You understand where I'm going with all this? Now, some of you, it's two different types of people who are listening to this right now. Maybe three. One is the player who understands everything that I just said. That when you get to the professional level, it's the higher the level that you go, the higher the likelihood your role is to be a role player. The higher the likelihood you're not going to be the guy getting the highlights, scoring all the points, dunking on people, doing all kinds of moves, and you ain't going to be James Harden. There's a high likelihood you will not be that, but you will still have a job and a contract and taking care of your family with the bread that you make playing professional basketball. So you ain't got nothing to be ashamed of. It's just the casual fan won't understand why you ain't putting up stats because they don't understand the game. Now that's one type of player. You get this. The second type of player is the second type of person watching this is the player. You're a ball player as well, but you haven't played at the pro level. You don't quite understand the pro game, and you think because of the way you've been raised in basketball and what you look at and what you see on social media, you think it's all about points and stats and who got what highlight, who got that highlight, because that's all you see. So you're like, all right, the best players and the pros are the guys who put up stats. So then when you see some dude, they say, all right, he played overseas. Then you're watching him play, and he's like passing, setting screens. He ain't out there just clearing out and scoring on everybody easily. You're like, oh, he ain't even that good. He's supposed to be overseas. He's supposed to be a pro. He's supposed to be in the league. He ain't even that good. He ain't scoring. Like, that ain't the whole game. And understand, watch basketball. You watch a good team play. Watch the Miami Heat and the LA Lakers in the NBA Finals. You see the dude sitting at the end of the bench? All right, their job, when they were at a previous level, they was probably the man doing everything. But everybody can't do that. So you need to understand, player who's not a pro yet, or you want to be a pro, or you think you should be a pro because of how much stats you putting up. Everybody doesn't need a stats guy. All right, if you averaging 30 in some rec league wherever you from, and then you go sign with a team overseas, check this out. They already got a guy who can score 30. All right, and it ain't you. It's not you. You gonna be, maybe you could be their backup. Maybe you go play a role, and if you can't, you ain't gonna be on the team no more. You ain't gonna be in the game no more. You gonna be back playing in that pro-am, talking about what you could have did. That's the second type of person listening to this. And the third type is the casual fan who hopefully from this explanation you get a better understanding of how the game works. Not everybody's going to be scoring all the points. All of basketball is not about points. Yes, whoever has the most points, which team wins the game, but there's a lot of things that goes into points. Right? We got defense, rebounding, passing, blocking shots, playing off the ball, working hard in practice. You might not even get in the game, but you work really hard in practice. So the dudes who do get in the game are in better shape and they're ready to go because you've been making them work in practice. All this is part of the game. So for the ball players out there, because that's really who I'm talking to when I make these, you ball players, when you go to another level or a higher level from where you last played, you might need to accept the role, and that's all right. Remember what the goal is. All right, the goal is not to impress your bum ass homeboys back in the hood who ain't never seen nowhere outside of your block. All right, that's not the goal. The goal is not to impress some people in the fucking Twitter comments who talking about how many points you had and they don't know shit about the game except watching it on TV. The goal is for you to have a job playing professional basketball where you could take care of yourself and you could take care of your family and you got a career hooping, which is something that fewer than 1% of people who ever pick up a fucking basketball ever get a chance to do. That's the way you need to be thinking. All right, your aim is not to be popping on Instagram. Your aim is not to, you don't have to prove nothing to YouTube commentators. Your aim is to have a job playing ball for a living so you ain't got to work at fucking Walgreens while you playing in rec leagues on the weekends. All right, so don't think that you need to impress those people who don't understand the game. So if any of them seem to be talking like they don't understand the game, send them this video and let me set them straight so that they understand the game. Maybe they can understand the game. If they don't, they don't. Because remember, only 1%, fewer than 1% of ball players ever actually get to live this life. So if they don't get it, they're not supposed to get it. That's why they don't live the life that you're living. So keep in mind what the main thing is, which is get your gig, get your bread, and have a career playing ball. All that said, if you do not yet have your free copy of this book called The Overseas Basketball Blueprint, go to the link below. It's balloverseas.com. Claim your free copy of the book. We used to sell this book for $49.95 on Amazon. I'm giving it away for free. All you need to do is cover a small shipping charge. We'll ship it to you worldwide, anywhere that you live. Again, that's balloverseas.com. The link is down below. If you want to get the full Overseas Blueprint bundle, that includes the truth about overseas basketball exposure camps, this book right here. You will also get Overseas Basketball Secrets, where we tell about the business side of the game so you know exactly how overseas works. So any of you like parents or girlfriends or wives, you want to help your guy get on, or you want to help your girl get on, and you just want to understand how overseas works, this is the book that you need to read. And those of you who want to understand the game, you need to read this book. And the Basketball Agents Decoded book. This is all part of the Overseas Blueprint bundle. So you can get all three of these along with the blueprint as part of the Overseas Blueprint bundle if you want. We got an option for that. But if you just want this book is still free no matter what. All you do is cover the shipping. Again, balloverseas.com. You got a choice. You can get all of these. You can get just this. It's up to you. I'm just trying to help you get on and help y'all live out your dream of being a professional basketball player. There's no job in the world better than that. I'm an entrepreneur, and being an entrepreneur is not a better job than being a professional basketball player. I'm keeping it real. Anybody can become an entrepreneur if you can create something and sell it. Not everybody can play basketball overseas. All right? Everybody can't do this. Anybody can be an entrepreneur. Anybody with a camera can be a YouTuber. Not anybody can be a professional basketball player. So if you want to be one, balloverseas.com. Work on your game. Dre all day.